Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Edgework on the Hammer Betting Network here on another Wednesday episode with the boys from the fourth period, Dave Pagnotta and Dennis Bernstein. I'm Zack Bodenstein, and we've got a loaded schedule today for a bit of a rarity on a Wednesday, but we'll obviously take it. Plenty of games to choose from and plenty to talk about yesterday, boys. There was a lot that happened, including one game that I was just joking about a few minutes ago with you. The Leafs and the Lightning. It was total domination by the Leafs. Shots were, I think, 40-19. And I made the joke. I mean, I think it's a valid joke, and I know I'm going to piss people off when I say this, but of course they beat them, and of course they dominated them. It's not April yet. And that's pretty much been the case, right? The Leafs have had the Lightning's number in the regular season. Playoffs, obviously, they were the better team. They didn't win the series. But Dave, I'll start with you since you're the local guy. Your takeaways from that game, and I guess just the Leafs in general. They've been making some minor trades. They've been dealing with a lot of injuries, just kind of tweaking things. So what's your impression of the Leafs right now?
A lot of confidence. They're playing with a ton of confidence right now. Goaltending has been steady, whether it's Murray or Samsonov. They're getting contributions. Now, another injury to the defense. We'll see what happens with Rasmus Sandin and what happens there. But look, they're getting contributions. They're playing with a lot of confidence. Their top guys are performing. And during the regular season, you touched on it, good regular season team. But during this period, teams don't shut down the opposition's top line or top two lines as much as they do in the postseason. So there's more flexibility. There's more room for them to go around. When the linesman's not beating up one of your players on a regular night, it's usually, you can usually do pretty well. So that was something. Even Bunting was like, that was crazy. But whatever. Look, this is a team playing with a lot of confidence. Their top guys are getting it done, and the goaltending is steady. And in this league, if you're getting tremendous goaltending, you can get away with having less than stellar defense in the regular season. Eventually, it catches up to you in the postseason. So we'll see what happens there. But I mean, they should have Riley back. They'll be a lot healthier. They'll likely make an addition to that defensive core by the trade deadline. But right now, they're playing solid. They're on all cylinders. They've got a matinee game on Thursday against Philly at 2:00 Eastern. That should be an easy W for that club based on how they're playing. And they'll go, into the holidays with even more confidence coming out of them.
Okay, so you just jinxed him for Thursday by saying it's
I did that on purpose, by the way. I was wondering. I thought one of you would have jumped in right away, but you gave it time. But yes,
I let it breathe a little bit, like 10 seconds. It's a little different though. They gave up 8 shots in 2 periods. Like when they've gone on runs before in previous seasons, it's been 7-1, 5-1. They've outscored the opposition. They haven't played great defense. And Dave's right. Like they have a lot of people missing off the blue line, yet they're playing this type of stifling defense. Now, you're right, Zach. It's not April. But anytime this team beats that team, and in the manner that they beat him, you sit up and take notice. I mean, I did. I'm driving in to see the Ducks and Kings last night, and Bowen saying they had 8 shots on goal. Well, you can win the game and get great goaltending, but their style has changed without question. Like when have you ever heard in the last 20 years, well, the Leafs win games by shutting the opposition down? Like never, right? That doesn't happen. And now it's happening. So it's really going to be really interesting to see if they can maintain this style over the next 50 games and when their more gifted defensive players come back into the lineup. So it's been like this team's always going to be intriguing. There's always going to be drama around this team.
Yeah.
But that was really impressive. But again, Zach, because of their history, you have to say, yeah, that was really nice, and you've been really, really good. But let's talk about game 83, not the first 82, because that's what it matters for this team.
You know, I liked what John Cooper said after the game to reporters. He said that was a complete game, and thinking he's talking about the Leafs. And then he goes, well, it was a complete bag of you-know-what for his team. So, you know, they didn't play well. Toronto was, the puck possession game for them. They didn't really give a lot of opportunities for Tampa to really get anything going. I think it was 13 shots going into the third period for Tampa. So, or 12 or whatever it was. But yeah, you're right, DB. It's a different type of way that they're playing right now. They're a lot more aggressive, and I wonder if that aggressive style is because they do have deficiencies on that blue line, and they're making up for it in other ways. But they're winning right now, so whatever, it doesn't matter.
And if you flip the script, and that's what Tampa gets. Tampa gets currency for playing crappy games because they won. Right? If that flipped. And the Leafs last night had lost 3-2 and had 8 shots on goal in periods. You know what would be happening right now in the airwaves? They'd be getting destroyed. So that's what happens when you're a championship team. You get currency for performances like that because, as Zach keeps talking about, for the flip side, it doesn't matter that the Tampa lost last night in December. Like, they're going to be in the top 8. They don't care where they finish. And they'll take chances in the postseason. Now, the other thing is that at the trade deadline, I'm trying to figure out what Breezeball is going to do to circumvent the cap to get another player.
So
I'm just waiting for that move, but just a really intriguing game last night at Scotiabank.
Potentially another round one matchup between those two, and we'll see what happens. I would argue the Leafs were the better team, and I would say around 5 of the 7 games last year, and of course didn't win, and they've been dominating that regular season head to head for years now. So. And then obviously, like Dave said, they're a lock to lose now because on Thursday, because Dave said that they would. So
easy W.
Yeah.
Owen Tippett anytime goal for Philly on Thursday. Let's go.
My guy, former steelhead. And you mentioned the linesman situation too, which is absolutely wild. Carolina 10-0-2 in their last 12. And Dave, remember you didn't know how to say Kochekhov's name, but I think you do now.
He is. He's killing. Like, I don't even know what they do at this point. Like, if Freddie Anderson's fully healthy, ready to roll, what are you going to do? You're going to let the kid play. And Freddie will just sit there and collect his paycheck and get some practice in and whatnot. You ride the hot hand. This kid is ridiculous. And we talked about this at the start of the season, guys. We were saying, like, as good as Jersey is, eventually Carolina's going to start to climb up. And they're climbing. And that was a good W last night against a Devils team that is not coming back down to earth, because I still think they're going to stay up in the stratosphere there. But now Carolina's joining them, and they're rolling, and they're getting contributions up and down that lineup. Nick Cash is leading the charge, but you've got Svechnikov, and you've got the other guys, Aho and so on, that are jumping in, and the goaltending is ridiculous. Brett Burns and company on that back end are playing well. This was a team that we expected out of the gate. It just took them a little bit of time, and they got a Calder, I guess, potential nominee here between the pipes for them.
They do.
It's not just in Vegas anymore. Everybody talking about that kid. We got another guy on the East Coast that's contributing too. And DB, this team now with goaltending at this level, and look, Freddie Anderson was good too last season, but the way that they're playing right now, talked about confidence in Toronto. It's a crap load of confidence right now in Raleigh.
Yeah, well, I picked them to win the Cup, the Canes, and they're proving me right at this point. They don't give up anything. Like they are so difficult to score against, this team.
Yep.
And they're going to have challenges off. When this team goes on a losing streak, it's because you see what happens: 0 goals, 1 goal, 1 goal, 2 goals.
Yeah.
They just don't score enough. Now, at some point, Pacioretty's going to come back to the lineup if there's Achilles injury, and that's going to make this team even better. But this team. See, these are one of these teams that has DNA, Zach, where they play playoff hockey 82 games a year. Like, it doesn't change with this team. And the question is, will they have enough offense to go 4 rounds? Because that's what hurt them last season in the postseason. They're big players. And again, they're doing this without Aho.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all. This is a well-coached team with a great defense. And the goaltending, look, either Ronta or Anderson are going to get hurt without question. That's going to happen. So you need to check off anyway. You tell me they're going to get 3 healthy goalies through the whole season? It's just not going to happen. But this is a deep, dangerous team, Jack. But I think the takeaway is with the Penguins winning last night, the Metro is just a bear. You got like 5 really good teams. And now Washington woke up. So this is going to be a very, very difficult division. And back to Dave's point about New Jersey, yeah, they weren't going to play 800 hockey. Now, maybe Boston will, and they'll get 136 standing points, and that won't mean anything once you start the playoffs. But New Jersey, look, they're a really solid team. And now Blackwood's coming back in net, so if Vanacek fades a little bit, they might have some more support there. They're solid. I picked Carolina to win the division, but the Devils, I think, are top 3 right now, regardless. But, yeah, they're coming back down to earth. They really are. And they actually need to win this game tonight against Florida.
If I'm the Florida Panthers, I'm starting to worry. Because you look at the standings, DB, you touched on it, 5 teams in this division in the Metro that are doing well. Let's see, 5 plus 3
is 8.
That's 8. Only 8 teams make the playoffs, guys.
The show too.
Yeah. Look, seriously, if I'm Florida, I got to get my ass in gear quick.
Yeah.
I got to do this. I got to start rolling now because, like you said, the Capitals have woken up and they're on the outside right now. So, yeah. I mean, you got 6 teams really that are doing well because I'm just double checking. They're tied with the Islanders right now in points. The Isles have a game in hand and they've got that last wild card spot. And I know we're not at the halfway mark yet, but you got 5, 6 teams in that Metro division that are rolling. Florida needs to get their act in gear ASAP.
Yeah, they do.
Including the Penguins, who have won 8 of their last 9. Jari hasn't allowed more than 3 since November 17th. It's a bloodbath right now, and you're right. I mean, that top 3 in the Atlantic seems pretty locked in, at least logistically. You figure it's going to be Toronto, Boston, Tampa, in whatever order. That has Florida, by process of elimination on the outside looking in. So we might as well get into their game tonight. It's the Panthers at home against the Devils. Florida is the favorite according to these betting odds, but the Panthers won this matchup between these two teams just 6 days ago, 4-2. But it's kind of felt a little different at this point. The Devils, yes, they lost last night to Carolina, like we said. They actually lost 6 straight, but the shots on goal yesterday would indicate that Jersey actually played a pretty good game, just didn't get the W. Florida, in the meantime, they're giving up quite a bit of goals. They just gave up 7 to Boston. I don't think it was Spencer Knight's best night, assuming they go back to Bobrovsky because he's kind of starting to figure things out. But DB, your takes on tonight's game with the Panthers and the Devils?
Well, as much as Dave's right about Florida getting in gear, the Devils got to start winning again. It's as simple as that. They need to win this game. They need to go in there, play solid defense, and try to come away with it against a team that's been average, like totally average. Zach, it's not fantasy hockey. It's actually the NHL, so you can't unplug players, plug players back in. I think it's going to work with a different coach and different system. And that's the problem in Florida. Part of it is, look, they don't have Duclair, who would be a nice add as well, but it just hasn't worked so far. You need time. And you're right. We're not even at the halfway point. But these teams got to start gelling because if at this point, if Florida would lose 7-10, then there's a gap between themselves and the playoff qualifiers. So this is an important game for both teams. I actually like New Jersey tonight because I think they got to start finding ways to win. They haven't scored a lot of goals lately, but I think this is not a must-win, but a really important win for New Jersey, actually for both teams. But I like the Devils tonight to bounce back.
Well, they're going to have a quick opportunity, obviously, to do it. But for me, because of this rut that they're in and because Florida, needs a W, I'm going the opposite direction. I'm going Panthers on the money line tonight to take advantage of the fact that New Jersey is facing adversity for the first time this season and doing it on a back-to-back tonight. So going from Raleigh, it's a quick trip down to Fort Lauderdale, but still, you're not sleeping the same. It's you just came off a loss. You're second in the division now because Hurricanes now jumped on you. Maybe the mind games are setting in. I think they're going to eventually start to go back on the incline because I really like the makeup of that team. But I'm taking Florida tonight because they need it on the money line. And we talked about the goals that the Panthers have given up. So even though I'm going with Florida, I'm going with the first period highest goal total tonight. I think it's plus 350 depending on what you're looking at. But I'm going first period as the highest goal scoring total in Devils Panthers tonight. But at the end of it, I'm taking the Panthers on the money line.
Another clash between Dave and DB. And I think Dave, you guys have both really good points. And you're right, it is a huge game for both teams. They've just got to figure it out. These are good teams on paper. that aren't playing their best hockey the last couple of weeks. So it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. And I don't think Barkov will be playing. I think he's out again with that lower body, but he is skating. So if you're looking for Florida over the next week or so and trying to hammer them, they might be getting some reinforcements with their captain. Second game, I know, yeah, they do. Second game that I know Dave had his eyes on as well, the Oilers plus 120 at Dallas minus 145 right now. Edmonton's lost 3 straight. They've lost 4 of the last 5, including, I'm going to make a joke here, but they've lost a regulation game at home to Anaheim, which should count like as 10 losses, right? Like that's not good. And DB, you saw Edmonton, Anaheim up close yesterday. But Dave, I know you were looking at the Stars and the Oilers pretty closely for this one.
Yeah, I think it's got potential. I'm not picking a winner in this one. It's got potential for Edmonton to go 4 straight now in the L column. But I'm going a couple different directions in this one because Dallas has a lot of offense now. And because Edmonton is so kind of flaky and up and down, and we don't really still know what this team is this season, I'm going with the over total in this game between the Oilers and the Dallas Stars. So I'm going in that direction, but I'm also, I don't usually do this. I usually take an anytime goal guy, somebody to score, which I'm going to in the next game that we're going to talk about. But tonight I'm going for the first goal scorer of the night. I sprinkle this on occasion, and I'm trying to pick my battles here, but I'm going Roope Hintz for the first goal of the game tonight against the Edmonton Oilers for the Dallas Stars. It's at plus 900. I was going to try maybe do I go the easy way and just say Jason Robertson, and probably he's going to hit now. But I'm going Roope Hintz in that brand new contract of his to score first tonight to get me on the score sheet.
Well, I'm gonna lay some wood here, but that game, the only thing I like in that game is it's a toss-up. Second period, over a goal and a half, both teams. It's minus 240. I know that's pricey, but Edmonton, their second periods are usually, with the long changes, there's a lot of offense. Dallas, I think, is going to score. I'm not sure of a winner because, again, Edmonton really needs to bounce back and start playing more consistent hockey, and they haven't. Dallas is dangerous, but I like the second period over a goal and a half at minus 240 in the Edmonton-Dallas game.
See, that's why these games, and sorry, Zach, I like when we're on the same page like that, I like it, and then it scares me a little bit, right? Because I'm thinking okay, Dallas is probably going to win, but Edmonton, we don't know, so I'm just going to leave it. So we both stayed off on picking a winner tonight. Zach, you got a winner in this one, or you go in a different direction?
Oh, that's the thing.
There you go.
One of the only games of the night where I genuinely don't know what's going to win, mostly because I don't know what the Oilers are, and none of us do it. They don't even know what they are. So that's pretty much it. And regardless of who's in that, now Skinner's kind of, going like this. Jack Campbell maybe kind of going like this. I know the 4 goals against, but he was better. At this point, it's just what are the Oilers? What are they going to be going forward? What are they tonight? Who knows? And Dallas, Ottinger's been great, so I see why you're taking the over because the Oilers can score and they give up a lot of goals. I love the Roope prop, though, by the way. He likes to start games fast, and that line is always starting games. Fast. So that's one of my favorite props of the year, I would say.
I'm banking on it. He cashed in big on his contract. Why don't you spread the wealth, Roope? Come on, sprinkle a little this way.
And for plus 900 too. That's awesome. So third game of the night that we're going to be talking about is Montreal plus 220 at Colorado minus 275. The Avs getting healthier. They're looking more like the Avs, although it was a weird 1-0 shootout win at home for them the last time out against the Islanders. But the over-under is set pretty low here at 5.5. The Avs have won 4 of the last 5. They've given up less than 3 in every single win. The Habs have lost 4 of their last 6, and they haven't scored more than 3 since December the 6th. So you've got 2 teams kind of going in different directions here, DB. How do you see this one playing?
And if you look at Colorado's last 6 games, there haven't been a lot of goals. You mentioned the 1-0 game, but that wasn't an anomaly. They're 2-1, 3-1. All their games are going under the total. So I like the under 6 in this game at minus 110. I think it's a 3-1 game or something like that tonight. So I like the under 6 between the Habs and the Avs.
Yeah, I'm not expecting too many goals in this one either. Once Colorado's fully healthy, once they're rolling again, then, if that were the case for tonight, I'd probably have hammered them. But I'm staying off, that tonight. I don't think there's going to be many goals either, so I like that one, DB. But I am going with 1 goal scorer who's going to, I think, get his 20th goal of the night. That'd be a hell of a record. 20th goal of the season. tonight. Cole Caulfield of the Montreal Canadiens. I think he enters the 20 club early on this season. I think he's, ninth in the league or tied for ninth in the league in goals right now. But I'm going with him. Anytime goal for Caulfield to get his 20th of the season tonight against the Avs.
And I know, DB, you were looking at a prop for this one too. I know you had one specific Colorado forward getting on the board too.
Yeah, the choo-choo train. And Valerie Nichushkin, anytime point tonight as well as a prop.
Okay, so that's one of Dave's DB's props. Any other props? Just to recap your props, your best bets for the night.
Yeah, the additional pick in the New Jersey-Florida game, that's going to go under the 6.5 total at plus 105. So that I've got that. So Nichushkin anytime point. New Jersey and Florida under 6.5 goals at plus 105.
Yeah, and in that game, in the Florida Jersey game, I'm going highest goal scoring total is the first period. So I think they'll come out, kind of with a couple of goals apiece or something along those lines, 3-4 goals in that period, and then it'll kind of trail off. So I'm going with that one. I think it's going in Florida's favor. And then I think Jersey will kind of figure it out. But, prop-wise, I'm going first period, highest goal scoring total in that one. Excuse me. And then, recapping Dallas-Edmonton. Rupe Hintz, baby. Let's go. First goal of the game. Let's get him on the board. Plus 900. Sprinkle some on that one. Spread some wealth this way, Rupe, and that'll be a good one. Cole Caulfield, your next contract, you can wait. Like, you can score tonight just to help me out, but the next contract that you lock in, we'll talk.
So Dave just wants to sleep early and rich because he wants that first period highest total in the Florida game, and then he wants the first goal by Rupe. So I hope so, man. I hope so.
Look, we're all working hard. It's the end of the year. It's holiday season. I don't want to I can deal with less stress. So just give me the.
He needs more money for gifts. Yeah, he needs more money for gifts.
Right, exactly. I gotta spread some around, get to the mall and everything. So I just wanted out early, and then I can just relax the rest of the night.
The mall was crazy yesterday. I was at Vaughan Mills, Dave, and it was it was a zoo. It was.
I drove by that and debated going in, and I was like, "Nope, see ya, no, thank you." It's a mess.
Guys,
right
there's
now.
a thing called Amazon. You go online, you type in, and just
see. But now the problem is you wait too long, and then the shipping, and it doesn't come here in time. You piss people off. Yeah, see, that's why I don't want to wait long tonight. I want to get my bets in early. I want the guys to hit quick, and then I can go. Then I can go relax, and maybe see if those cash in early, I can sprint to the mall in the last half hour because little died down. See, it's all strategy, guys. Get that half hour in, go straight to the store, know exactly what you want, go in, get out before anybody gets hurt, and then in time to watch Dallas and Edmonton in that one, and then cash in all over and get ready for tomorrow.
It sounds like a veteran move.
That's strategic.
Strategy.
Brought to you by BetStamp. BetStamp shows you the odds from every sportsbook in one spot, so you can always get the best value when you bet. Check out betstamp.app today and download the BetStamp app on Android or iPhone. And what are Phoenix Copley's Vezina odds, DB? I'm curious. You like to call him the statue in net, right? Because he doesn't move?
Yeah, he just kind of stands and let the puck hit him, and there's enough defense around him that they clear the puck. So he's the opposite of Cal Peterson and Jonathan Quick, who flop around like a fish out of water right now. Neither of them has been very, very good. And out of almost desperation, they turned to Phoenix Copley. They waived Cal Peterson. Nobody picked him up because he's been terrible, and he's got a $5 million per year contract for the next 2 seasons. It's what's the economy of movement. I think that's the cliche they use for Phoenix Copley. He's going to start again probably Thursday against Calgary, and he's never started 5 games in a row in his NHL career. So it's been out of the ashes, Phoenix has risen.
It's
spelled Pheonix for all those people trying to write stories about him. So.
See, if I would have known you could just stand there, I would have been a goalie. It's like every now.
He doesn't. He does the job. Don't get me wrong, but he doesn't move much. And he's like 6'3", 6'4". He lets the puck hit him. He doesn't give up a lot of rebounds. And this team scores goals in LA. That's the one thing. All they needed was a few key saves to getting him from him. And that's why he's been really super solid for them so far. If you throw out that abortion of the third period against Buffalo, his save percentage is he gave up 6 goals on 16 shots. The team quit after 3-0. Other than that, his save percentage is like 940 something in the 940. So he's done the job, and it's a team that, And they play the most amount of games than everybody, so the standings are kind of skewed. But right now with their offense, and I don't know if he's the guy. He may not be the guy at the end of the season because Peterson's in the AHL playing well, which is what you're supposed to do. When a player goes from the NHL to the AHL, they should be better. He's been better. So it's been a really interesting dynamic with respect to the net. And out of almost desperation, he turned to Coppa to get a save, and he's been giving them saves. And now they've won 3 straight, and they're solidifying the position in the Pacific.
What's more surprising, guys? Copley's performance or finding out in the middle of the night that Carlos Correa joined the Mets?
Come on, stop it. It's not close. Stop it.
The hell was that?
I literally, I saw the notification. I thought that the notifications were just making it official that he signed with the Giants, whatever they had their presser. I don't care. But then I looked again, and when I rubbed my eyes a little bit, it was like 3 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
And I saw Mets. I go, hold on a second. What? That lineup is stacked now. How about that? Wow.
You know what they did that, right? Right now, Aaron Judge's press conference is going on at Yankee Stadium. So Steve Cohen just wanted to upstage the Yankees. Oh, by the way, in other news, Aaron Judge is at Yankee Stadium talking about his contract that he signed. But that was a bolt out of the blue. And yeah, the guys can go play third base. But hey, that's a $300 million physical the guy's got to go under, right? So that's why I guess we should pay attention to when they make these announcements pending a physical. They mean it.
Yeah.
I was having this talk with a friend last night. Remember Joffrey Lupul, how he tried to throw the Leafs under the bus, and he was like, I was healthy enough. My physical was rigged, and then he tried another physical and he failed. It really does go to show that nothing is done until it's done. And sometimes guys just genuinely can't pass physicals. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Different doctors in San Fran than there are in New York, that's for sure. $300 million contract there. Artem Zub gets a $18.4 million extension with the Senators. Little bit different dynamics, but money's flowing everywhere. Boys, I got a good feeling about tonight with all this money just being tossed out everywhere.
Yeah, we're red hot. So Foley only likes to score when I don't pick him. Literally every other game I pick him. But otherwise, but I'm doing well. I'm doing well this year. I think I was like 2 for 4 last week, 4 for 4 the week before. I don't know. We're batting pretty high this year, so I'm feeling good about tonight too. I think we've got some interesting props. Dave, I love the hints prop. I'm just I'm feeling good about tonight. I'm really feeling good.
I'm liking it. I'm excited. I'm liking it. I'm liking the games. We actually have a busy Wednesday tonight. But usually it's like 3 games, 2 games, 3 games. We got an active Wednesday, boys. So let's cash in.
Let's do it. Just before we sign off, my prop bet's Augustus Bear anytime point for +120. I just feel like with the Vegas penalty kill, I feel like Augustus Bear is going to get one on the power play, at least an assist. They've been hotter too. Michelli can get one, Keller could get one. And then my best bets are Minnesota for the 2nd straight week on the puck line, which of course is going to burn me, but I'm going to go with it anyway because it sucks. And then under 6 in Arizona, Vegas. Vegas is missing all that firepower still. They got Pietrangelo back, but I don't trust either to really put up the points. And you know what? I'm a big Vejmelka fan. I love Logan Thompson. I think that game is going to be like a 3-2 game. Boys, Merry Christmas if we don't talk, but let's try to reconvene tonight and go over our winnings, hopefully. And for everybody here at Edgework and the Hammer Betting Network, happy holidays to you, and we will see you tomorrow.